Hello, hunters. How are you doing? I'm back with another market review. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't moved much today and has formed a small range between 98,000 and 98,295. This range has created a relatively safe zone for altcoins to show some growth. This stability aligns with the decline in Bitcoin dominance that we're currently observing. We can still expect Bitcoin to make another upward step, but it's not strictly necessary for a retracement to occur. If you look closely, we're moving within a channel, and we can almost count this as an ABCDE pattern. Once the retracement wave forms, we can reassess whether Bitcoin can make an upward move. For now, we'll go with the flow. If the channel breaks, especially on the daily or weekly time frame, it could signal the altcoin season we've all been waiting for. This has been a crucial level, and previous rejections have only delayed this scenario. On the 3-day time frame, we notice a resistance area around 61,900, 62,000, which we've discussed before. Breaking through this zone could complicate the situation. While it's not a definitive no for reaching 100K, the channel and wedge patterns suggest high potential for a retracement around these red box areas. Even if Bitcoin makes another upward move, it might drop back to lower levels from these zones, similar to patterns we've seen before. Be cautious because if Bitcoin starts a sharp rally, altcoins might lag slightly. From a support perspective, as mentioned earlier, Bitcoin is nearing the 58,585 zone, which has previously triggered a new peak. The more Bitcoin consolidates, the better it is for altcoins. Market rotations are happening. Initially, one set of altcoins rallied, and now older coins like Cardano, Ripple, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash from the 2017 to 2020 era are moving. This reset of the market is a positive development. As long as Bitcoin remains within this box, we can expect more rotational upward movements in the market. If Bitcoin breaks above 98,900, and if the bottom boundary of the range holds around 97,357, we'll monitor for potential breakout moves. If the range remains, focus on altcoins and Bitcoin dominance trends. Tether dominance and RSI observations. Tether dominance is moving within 3.98-3.85, and a divergence might occur soon. On the hourly time frame, this divergence is forming, but stronger confirmation on the 4-hour would be more impactful. Pay attention to the RSI levels and their interactions. These could signal corrections in the market, providing attractive buy zones. Altcoin analysis. Let's check out some specific coins. 1. Toncoin. Toncoin has shown promising movement today, possibly influenced by recent news. Pavel Durov mentioned moving to the US if the SEC's stance changes after Gary Gensler's departure, creating hype. Tuon broke certain trend lines but hasn't given a clear daily breakout above the 200-day moving average or our box yet. For now, it's a wait-and-see situation. If the price moves down to 6.03-6.14, it becomes more attractive. However, for safer entries, watch for the 5.88 zone, which aligns with the 15-minute fair value gap and EMA 25. This setup might be risky, so manage stops carefully. If TON consolidates and forms a solid base, it could be a better entry point for a move upward. 2. Notcoin. Notcoin has potential, but needs a daily close above the 8,658 zone for confirmation. Until then, wait for a correction in the 45-minute or 30-minute time frame. If it retraces to 7,615, it might offer an opportunity, but these levels aren't very solid. Or 3. Dogs. Dogs performed as expected yesterday, breaking above certain levels. However, its upward move is still risky without strong confirmations. If Dogs breaks above 6,813 with a 15-minute close, it could target 6,916, 7,097. Use pullbacks for entries cautiously. 4. Hamster. Hamster can also benefit from the ecosystem's rally. The initial move has occurred, and if an ABC correction forms, it could target levels around 4,067, 4,149, and 4,246. The potential for growth increases between the 78, 88 Fibonacci levels, so keep an eye on this area. 5. BNB. BNB recently broke a level on the 15-minute chart, pulled back, and resumed its upward move. Targets include 684, 699, and 700 USD. Your stop-loss strategy depends on risk tolerance, but placing stops below the recent flip zone, 657, is more secure. Conclusion. Today's market is ripe with opportunities, but risk management is key. Look for breakout confirmations, manage your stops wisely, and let the market's structure guide your decisions. Focus on coins with clear patterns and avoid impulsive entries. I would like to ask you to subscribe to our channel and like the video. Let's get into TAO. Its performance hasn't been bad over the past few days, but in my opinion, it still hasn't shown the level of performance we expect. We have much higher expectations for it. Maybe the capital flow into AI hasn't fully materialized yet. Friends, this token has potential. It just needs to break the trend line. We have a channel here, and if it breaks this trend line, we'll see a continuation of the upward movement. You can also use the 606 zone for entry. There's a high chance we'll soon see TAO reach 4-digit values. The targets I mentioned earlier, $936, $1228, and $1360, are highly achievable. Some tokens from the previous cycle, such as Near Protocol, still haven't made significant moves. It's lagging behind compared to its Layer 1 peers. For instance, LIT has already moved. The older tokens in the market, as I mentioned earlier, have started to move. Near hasn't broken through this zone yet. The initial trend line has been broken, but this space is between two resistances, and there's also a static resistance here. If this zone breaks, we could see a sustained upward movement in the higher time frames. I'm quite optimistic about it because it has recently become one of the blockchains dedicated to AI. It has significant growth potential, and seeing it reach $80 wouldn't be surprising. This is just a brief review, and we'll need to analyze its chart in more depth. However, I think it can easily reach $15 or $19 if it breaks the mentioned zone. Until it exits the wedge pattern, we can't be certain about the breakout. The same applies to Jasmy. It has high growth potential and attractive fundamentals. I expect it to make an upward move. I've set an alert for myself at $24.98. If it breaks this level, it will confirm the trend line breakout. After that, Jasmy might have more to offer. Today, we're focusing on tokens that haven't moved yet, like some of their peers. For example, Phantom, Polygon, and others are still lagging. HBAR has been performing well recently. Moving to Theta and its subset T-Fuel, we can see a clear ABC pattern. If it completes the wave, we might see it hit $6.40 or $10.12. Right now, it needs to break past the previous peak and consolidate for a few days before we can consider a stronger upward move. Other tokens, such as Algorand, are still struggling to break resistance. It's currently in a clean downward channel, and if it breaks the main resistance at 4,269, it has the potential to give a return of up to 600%. AVAX is moving within an upward channel, but still hasn't broken the resistance between $46 and $56. Once it does, we can expect a continuation of the upward trend. Similarly, ICP has great potential, although it might take time to reach levels like $70, 100. It's currently undervalued, and for long-term holders, it's a good buy under $10. Tokens like Lido and Veracity also have promising setups. Lido could reach $2.55, $3.15 after breaking resistance, and Veracity could potentially give significant returns if it breaks key levels. Finally, older tokens like Tezos are showing upward movement. For Tezos, wait for it to break above $1.53 for confirmation of the next upward wave. Thank you for staying with me throughout this video. I wish you success and profits.